For a very long time, there's been an interesting paradox regarding suppressors. The government, the ATF, Department of Justice, they want to claim that suppressors are not arms, are not firearms, and so therefore cannot be protected by the Second Amendment. Well, then why are they treated as firearms? Why do you have to fill out a 4473 and pass a background check to buy one? Why is it not just sold like a stock or an optic? In fact, it's even more regulated than a regular firearm. So you can't have your cake and eat it too, government. Is it a firearm? In which case, it's protected by the Second Amendment? Or is it not a firearm? In which case, it should not be an NFA item, and it shouldn't even have to pass a 4473, a background check, to be able to purchase one. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. The government had to answer this question themselves over the last few days. So, the case of George Peterson, great name, my name's George. George Peterson was charged with possession of an unregistered suppressor. Now, of course, that shouldn't even be a crime. It's kind of ridiculous that he's even in court for this, but it is. Every suppressor that you see behind me, this one, this one, this one, this one, I had to go through the Form 4 process. And if you own suppressors, then you probably did too. Now, for a long time, you could do Form 1 suppressors, which is kind of the same way that we get SBRs, build it as a pistol, file a Form 1, which is manufacturing a firearm, make it into an SBR. Well, you could get kits, or you could just, mill and lathe and make it yourself under Form 1. Those are still possible, but the kits aren't really available legally anymore. That's not what this video is about. Anyway, there is a process to getting a suppressor, an unconstitutional process. Well, George Peterson didn't go through that process. And he did actually plead guilty, but a conditional guilty plea that he was going to be able to challenge this on grounds that suppressors are protected by the Second Amendment, and therefore he shouldn't have to go through that process and have it registered. Now, I agree with George Peterson here. Of course, the government did not. Well, very recently, as in a couple days ago, as of the time I'm filming this video, filming it on Thursday, this should be out on Sunday. But the Department of Justice said that suppressors are not firearms and are not protected by the Second Amendment. Well, there was an uproar online, on YouTube. I almost did a video about it, and I'm glad I waited because things changed 2 days later. So the government said, yeah, these are not protected by the Second Amendment. Well, people kind of went apeshit, and there was a lot of YouTube videos about it, a lot of stuff, a lot of pressure put on them. And this is the new administration under Donald Trump, who has told Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to review all of the Biden-era gun control so that they can do something about it. And Donald Trump has said that he is going to protect the Second Amendment and our rights to keep and bear arms and to, protect ourselves with firearms. And so it wasn't really a good look for this administration. And so 2 days later, they came back and they said, whoa, wait a minute. I think we made a mistake. Let's take a look at this. We need 30 days to form what our opinion will be, and then we'll come back and let you guys know. But it sounds like they do believe that suppressors are protected under the Second Amendment, which makes them arms. What does that mean for regulation going forward? Now, this video is sponsored by Aura. Aura protects you online the way the Second Amendment is supposed to protect you from the government. The way your firearms protect you in the real world. So online, you have threats just like you do in the real world. And those threats come in the form of, scammers, spammers, data leaks. Your information gets out there, And then all kinds of criminals and bad people, and even non-criminal entities, but still just kind of bad groups, they can spam you. They can try to scam you. They can actually get your home title and, take ownership of your home without you even knowing. They can get your passwords and they can get access to your bank accounts and they can do all kinds of terrible things. Well, Aura protects you from all of that. And they do it for only $12 a month. But if you use my link, aura.com/sawtoothtactical, first link in the description, you get to try it out for 2 weeks, 14 days, absolutely free, and decide if you think it is worth it to you or not. I've been using Aura for over a year now. They've been supporting the Sawtooth Tactical YouTube channel this entire time. And if you want to support Sawtooth Tactical, the very best way to do that is to click on that link, sign up for Aura, try it out for 2 weeks, see if it's worth it to you or not. It has been worth it to me. I've been using it, and I'm a person that gets very annoyed with spam calls, with scams, with stuff like that. And those are just things that I haven't had to deal with for the last year. And so I really appreciate Aura because of that. If you would not like to have to deal with that stuff anymore either, try Aura out. Aura.com/sawtoothtactical, or click on the QR code that I've been showing in this little ad segment of the video. Now back to the video. So are suppressors arms that are protected under the Second Amendment, or are they not? And if they're not, well, then they shouldn't be regulated like firearms. They obviously shouldn't be regulated like firearms. Unfortunately, this is a thing that has been going on since the National Firearms Act, since the Gun Control Act. Suppressors should not be regulated any more than any other regular off-the-shelf accessory. If I want to pick up a vertical foregrip or a magazine or even a laser aiming module, I can just buy those. I can order them online and have them sent right to my house. But suppressors, you have to go through this lengthy, expensive process, which is pretty stupid. This thing right here can't do anything to anybody by itself. All it does is make your firearm a little bit quieter. We've talked about suppressors on this channel a lot because I'm a big fan of suppressors. I like suppressors a lot. In fact, I've got an MP5K coming in soon. We're going to do a build out of that on the channel, and it's going to need a suppressor. So if any of you have an MP5K or a clone of such, let me know what suppressor you use. I'm trying to decide which one to get. I'd like one that is 3-lug compatible. But anyway, getting back to what we're talking about here, it looks like the government is finally looking at the regulation of suppressors because of this case, and this is an administration that wants to look like they are protecting our Second Amendment rights. Will we finally get suppressors taken off of the NFA? God, I sure hope so. I'm not holding my breath. There have been many times in the past and videos I've made in the past where I've thought like, oh, maybe this is the thing that's going to do it. We've had the Hearing Protection Act. We've had the Shush Act. And this is the time when we should be able to get those kinds of things passed, as we have a Republican president, we have a Republican majority in both houses of Congress, and we have a conservative majority in the Supreme Court. If there was ever a time to try to get these unregulated, that time is now. And it looks like we have a government that hopefully, if they do what they said they're going to do, will be on our side on that fight. So let's keep the pressure on them. Apparently, it was because of public pressure that they came back and amended their first position where they said that suppressors are not arms protected by the Second Amendment. So we have to keep the pressure on them. Call your representatives, call your senators, call the White House, call the Department of Justice. Do whatever you need to do. Share the hell out of this video. Suppressors are not dangerous. In fact, they're a safety device. If anything, they help protect our hearing. They don't make a gun silent. It doesn't make you into some super secret squirrel sniper. They just make it more enjoyable to shoot. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.